Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. On a day when the Morgan Stanley report points at a bright, shining, glowing future for Bharat, Rahul Gandhi, on foreign shores, highlights the pains and the ills of Bharat, saying things are not going right. On a day when the Morgan Stanley report points at some of the risks that could stop this entire growth story of Bharat, Rahul Gandhi turns around and says, where is the growth story? On a day when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Rajasthan, prays and offers his respects at Pushkar and stands there and compares 10 years of UPA versus 9 years under Modi Sarkar. A day after, the government led by him completes 9 years and says, this is what was there before, this is where we are now. We set up the face-off, ladies and gentlemen. The face-off since 2004 till 2023, the last 2 decades, nearly thereabouts. Who's taken the right stand for Bharat? And are the risks that have been highlighted in the Morgan Stanley report more important to highlight, or is the Vikas story pitched by the Prime Minister underlined by the glowing reports, review and predictions that have been made by some independent watchers across the world? India is the bright spot, everyone says. But along with the Vikas, has the Sabka Saath been delivered? Is there Vishwas after 9 years in Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Or is there merit in what Mr. Rahul Gandhi turns around and says that no, it's all bluster. On ground, the reality is different. When I walked the walk, the talk that was being said and the walk that I saw, they are 2 different stories altogether. We set up this debate with what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said and what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said. And then we get into the face-off here tonight on The Right Stand.
What is happening, for example, to the Muslim community in India today happened to the Dalit community in the 80s. So periodically this type of stuff happens and we have to challenge it, we have to fight it, and we have to fight it with affection. All the instruments that we needed to do politics in India, they were controlled by the BJP and the RSS. People are threatened, agencies are used on people.
भाजपा सरकार के 9 साल देशवासियों की सेवा के रहे हैं, सुशासन के रहे हैं, गरीब कल्याण के लिए समर्पित रहे। प्रधानमंत्री के ऊपर सुपर पावर थी। कांग्रेस सरकार रिमोट कंट्रोल से चल रही थी।
Well, it's a direct face-off. It is Bhai versus Bhai tonight on The Right Stand. Shehzad Poonawalla with me here in the studio. Tehseen Poonawalla should be joining us from Bengaluru, where the Congress has just wrested the mandate away from the BJP, from that capital city of the state of Karnataka. But Shehzad Poonawalla, how would you respond to what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said on foreign soil?
You see, on the one hand, पूरे दुनिया में बज रहा है भारत का डंका, whether it is President Joe Biden, whether it is the Morgan Stanley report, whether it's the GDP figures that have come out, whether it is Prime Minister Albanese. On the other hand, the Bharat Badnami Brigade has started off with their danka and their shanka against India, and they can abuse Prime Minister Modi, no problem with that. They can abuse the BJP, no problem with that. But 3 statements made by Rahul Gandhi. One, that the instruments of democracy are in the hands of BJP RSS. If that is the case, then how did they win Himachal and Karnataka? Point number 2, Rahul Gandhi says that look at the way Dalits were treated in 1980s. So he has admitted that in 1980s they were being treated badly, and whose government was there at that time. But today he starts saying that the minorities are not being treated well, that the Sikhs are not being treated well. Well, the Sikh community has the biggest grouse against Jagdish Titler. And who is Jagdish Titler's patron? It is the Congress party. And thirdly, today the statement is that he even says Parliament and Sengol, the same Sengol which is a pious instrument of not just transfer of power but Dharmadand, that has also been called as diversion. And Rahul Gandhi even attacks Bharatiya Sanskriti by saying that Shashwat Pranam. Shashwat Pranam is when all the 8 organs of your body touches the ground. It is the highest form of namaskar and pranam that we do to our Ishtadev or to our parents. He compares that with lying down. You lie down on a couch, you lie down on the bed. In the hatred for Modi, you start hating Bharatiya Loktantra, Bharatiya Sanskriti and Bharatiya institutions. This is Bharat Badnami Brigade.
So was he actually insulting Sengol or Shashwat Dandvat Pranam, or was he trying to say that you got nothing else to show? When I say you, that means the government has nothing else to show, and that's why they have to go and do these kind of optics like what was done with the Sengol. Now there are 2 ways to look at it, that yes, this is what Riti Rivaz, this is how we do it, this is how we show respect. On the other hand, it is like you have got nothing else to show, so that is why you've taken the Sengol, you put it there and you are doing the pranam, because it's all optics.
I'll take the challenge, and from optics I'll come to the substance of it, and I will ask Tehseen Poonawala because he's here and he defends the Congress. I'll just quote 5 figures and Tehseen should tell me the comparative figures from Congress tenure. 11th position the economy, today it's at 5th position. Highest FDI got in our tenure, $83 billion. Tehseen should say how much was the highest FDI that was got during UPA tenure. Highest foreign exchange, which is today $540 billion. How much was the foreign exchange reserve during the Congress party's tenure? Today there are 88,000 startups. How many startups were there during UPA period? Today there are 125 unicorns. How many unicorns were there during the UPA period? Today we have built 7 IITs, 7 IIMs and about 8 AIMs. How many IIMs, IITs, etc. AIMs were built in the 10 years of UPA period? Today we have given 12 crore farmers 2 lakh crore rupees as the Kisan Samman Nidhi. How much was given by them? Today we have given 11 crore people tap water connections. How many was given by them? Today we have given 3.5 crore people Awas. How many Pakka Awas was built by the Congress party? Today we have given 80 crore people free rations. How many people they gave rations? Today poverty is falling at a level of 12% per annum. It was falling at 8% per annum. Today inflation is at 4.5 to 5%. It was 10% plus during the UPA tenure. Now Tehseen can tell me 5 figures from their tenure and prove me wrong.
Tehseen Poonawala, namaste, good evening. So
Namaskar.
You joined a little late, so the other brother got the early start. Now please respond.
No, I'm glad he got the early start because it'll be fun to bust some of the myths that have been created. And I absolutely, when Sri Rahul Gandhi ji speaks, and often the BJP terms him irrelevant, yet you have everybody from the honorable union ministers to the BJP spokesperson, including the one on your show, coming out and taking him on. If he was so irrelevant, why does everybody have to go attacking him? Because they know that what he's speaking is the truth. So Anand, let me expose first the BJP spokesperson on what Rahul ji said, and then with facts and figures on both aspects. What Sri Rahul Gandhi ji said is absolutely the truth. At the end of the day, what this government does not want to talk about or discuss is the future. They only want to live in the past, sometimes a mythical past. They have nothing about the future. This government has no policy on artificial intelligence, on Web 3.0, on blockchain. They are zero on it. That is why they are trying to divert our attention. Tell me, Anand, how many BJP leaders' kids do you see on the street with swords defending religion or talking about religion? All of them are going to the best universities in the world and getting educated. All of them are learning English. But the BJP here has done nothing to promote English and is talking about none of the futuristic programs. All they want to do is talk about religion. Now, since Mr. Poonawala quoted figures, let's talk about figures. Between UPA and NDA, between UPA 2004 to 2014, the GDP grew from 709 billion to 2.4 trillion, a growth of 191%. Under the NDA from 2014 to 2023, the GDP has gone from 2.4 trillion to 3.18 trillion, a growth of only 55%. Per capita GDP, while in NDA grew only 45%, it grew 149% under the UPA. Therefore, Anand, 225,000 fellow citizens gave up their citizenship under this government, gave up their citizenship. This apart from 10 lakh high net worth individuals leaving our country and settling abroad. They are settling in countries where tax rates are much higher. 165,000 of our fellow citizens, as per NCRB data, committed suicide last year, the highest ever in the history, in our 75-year-old history, most of them because of lack of employment. I'm not saying the economy hasn't grown, but it's grown only for the famous 5. It's not grown for the others. Therefore, today, the IT industry that Mr. Poonawala refers to is seeing the startup winter. where the investments have fallen, where people are being laid off their jobs. That is the reality, and because they don't want to talk about it, they divert to every other topic, including attacking Sri Rahul Gandhi ji.
Tessie?
Shahzad,
Shahzad,
I will not divert to any topic. I am glad that the Congress pseudo spokesperson thinks Rahul Gandhi is irrelevant in Indian politics, and I applaud him for his honesty. Now I'm asking him specific questions. I hope he'll answer this. $2 trillion, the economy size in 70 years. $1.1 trillion added in the last 9 years. Who has done better? Highways constructed at 11 kilometers per day rate. Today it's constructed at 37 kilometers per rate. Who has done better? 4 lakh kilometers of rural roads created in 70 years. Today, 3.5 lakh kilometers added to the rural roads length. Who has done better? 5 cities had metros before 2014. Today, 27 cities have metros. Who has done better? Today, the budget of railways, which was just 20 to 30,000 crores, have been risen to 2.5 lakh crores. Who has done better? Today, we have 20 Vande Bharat expresses. Today, when we talk about mobile phone factories, only 2 mobile phone factories were there before 2014. We had to import most of our mobile phones. Today, it has gone to 200. We are manufacturing and exporting $5 billion worth of Apple iPhone and Samsung phone. Who's done better? How many bank accounts were there during your tenure? Today, it's 48 crores. Please tell me how many Pakka Avasas you created? 25 lakh. Today, 3.5 crores. Please tell me how many Nal Se Jal had you given during your tenure? Today, it is 11 crores. So, how many people have you actually benefited? We have spent 90 lakh crores on social spending and on developmental infrastructure and other works. We have taken the capital expenditure from 1 lakh crore to about 10 lakh crores. Just last budget, it has been increased by 33%. Please, Tehseen Poonawalla, tell me, has it not been proven today that we are the fastest growing, largest economy in the world by IMF? And tell me the average inflation rate during the UPA tenure. It was 9 times above 10% between 2012 to 2014. Price of rice grew by 149%, wheat by 176%, atta by 170%, tur dal by 100%, sugar by 481%. Are any of the prices growing at this rate? No. Please tell me that have you given 220 crore vaccines ever when it came to polio vaccines or it came to influenza vaccine? It took 30 years for the vaccines to come. Today we have administered 220 crore vaccines. 2 Atmanirbhar vaccines were developed in the period of 7 to 8 months while it was being developed in the world. And we also gave vaccine Maitri to 25 crore vaccines to 100 countries. Please tell me, what did you do after 26/11 to Pakistan? Nothing. MFN status was given. Obama ji and Manish Tiwari have written in their book. But today when anybody dares even looks at us, we do surgical strike and Balakot airstrike. Today, this is the difference. Every second week, Anand, you would remember, there used to be a bomb blast that used to take place in a major metro city. Today, except for the conflict areas, I would say, where, say, Jammu Kashmir, where the terrorism issue is still prevalent to some extent, and it has come down by 50 to 60% after Article 370 has been removed. But except for those areas, there is no terrorist attack that is taking place like 26/11 or like Bengaluru, Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad attacks used to take place. So, Tehseen Poonawalla, please tell me on which front are you there to show your track record which is comparable to ours? And lastly, Tehseen, last one line.
I accept your challenge.
In Himachal, you said 1500 rupees will be given to women. How many women got it? 300 units will be given free. How many people got it? 3 rupees of diesel was increased in Himachal. In Rajasthan, how many farmers have got the Kisan Karz Maafi? Please answer specifically.
I accept your challenge.
Yeah.
Tell me prior to this, where was the drug route? Today you have a drug route in Manipur. I'm collecting items from Manipur. You have people, and this is your government saying, sitting on mountain tops. The rebels with automatic rifles coming from across the border. This is your demonetization that was supposed to remove terrorism, shooting innocent civilians. Tell me another example, and Anand, I would like you to press the BJP spokesperson on this, where Article 355 was imposed and Article 356 is not imposed. The centre's taken over law and order. Why is the state government, which is incompetent, not being dismissed? You have an entire drug route that has been created with the help of the government in power. Therefore, through these drug routes, weapons and rocket launchers and snipers have been gotten and innocent citizens are being killed. Tell me another time Assam and Meghalaya got into a warlike situation as if 2 countries are fighting. Tell me another time where Assam and another state got into this situation. Now you spoke about the GDP growing. I again give you the data. Under the UPA, India's GDP grew from 709 billion to 2 trillion. Under the NDA, from 2 trillion to 3 trillion, 45% to 155%. If the economy has grown as much as you're claiming it has, why is there the highest unemployment ever? This I don't say. Manohar Lal Khattarji, your chief minister, said that people who have made the Niti Aayog report should be put in the jail. Why is there the highest unemployment in the country? I am asking you, why is there such a crisis today in the country that people are not getting jobs? Today, the sector that you boast about, whether it's the mobile sector or the startup sector, you have the winter going on. You have 20,000 people being laid off every month. Where are these people getting jobs? And I'm asking you today, expose me. Tell me your government's artificial intelligence, blockchain and Web 3.0 policy. Today, expose me and end it. What is your policy? You have zero policy on it.
Okay, now that you have asked me about employment, let's take the employment aspect. We promised 2 crore jobs per year, 2 crore rozgar per year. EPFO data, new subscriptions. I'm talking about new subscriptions. 5.28 crores new subscribers have been added. Now add to that 23 lakh jobs created in the startup sector because the unicorns went from 4 to 100 and there was a 100-fold jump in the startups. Now add to this 35 crore mudra loans. Even if you consider one job for 3 loans, you can add the number of that. 1.1 lakh man days of work given because we have doubled the rate of highway construction. Between 2014 to 2022, only in government sector, 7.22 lakh candidates have been given government jobs. More 10 lakh have been promised, which is being given in 71,000 bracket. Railways, 3.5 lakh jobs have been created because we are expanding the railways in such a big way and new railway stations, new trains, etc. are coming up. MSME, Udyam portal, it's documented. 2014, 52 lakh jobs created in MSME. Today, 2020 to 23, 94 lakh jobs created. I'll tell you also CMI data, although I don't believe CMI data, but because you guys quoted unemployment rate, Bihar 17.6%, Delhi 9.7%, Gujarat 1.8%, Himachal Pradesh, which is now with them, 11.7%, Jharkhand 17.5%, Karnataka, which just went 2.3%, Madhya Pradesh 3.7%, Rajasthan 26.4%. Who has done unemployment? And Tehseen Poonawalla, the promise that Rahul Gandhi gave 10 days mein kisan karz maaf karenge. Please tell me how many kisans got that? Please tell me in how many households have you given 300 units bijli free, which was your promise in Himachal. Specifics पे बात कीजिए Tehseen Poonawalla. आप मणिपुर की और नॉर्थ ईस्ट की बात कर रहे हैं. नॉर्थ ईस्ट was once upon a time known for band, bomb and entire thing was blockaded. Today that entire situation has changed. Today Arunachal Pradesh, the major roads, airway connectivity is being done. You are seeing that Prime Minister himself has visited more than 50 times. Yes, there will be some issues, but the extremism and the militancy and the terrorism has come down by 80% in the northeast. That is a documented fact. But I ask you, Tehseen Poonawalla, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was from Assam. How many times he visited Assam as Prime Minister? Tell me the figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. How many times he visited? But that is not the issue. I have told you about the jobs. You tell me about the jobs created in Rajasthan.
That is precisely the issue. Whether the Prime Minister went one time or the Prime Minister went 100 times, was the Prime Minister efficient? Manipur, Nagaland, these issues were almost sorted out before Prime Minister Modi came in. Prime Minister Modi had this amazing TV Nagaland piece of
One minute. Sorry, the issues were sorted out by the time in 2014.
Almost sorted.
Sir,
almost sorted
after
out.
9 years of this government, Sikkim is getting railway tracks. So that's the level to which I'm saying that's the level to. 1 minute.
We're not talking about infrastructure.
1 minute. That's the level to which the Northeast was disconnected from the rest of the country.
No, it was not disconnected.
The rest of the country. Please, let's argue on facts. Manipur, Mizoram, and these regions, you are saying that there were no bunds before that? They were absolutely accessible. There were not 6 months of blockades in Manipur before NDA came through. Let's argue. The situation in Manipur, please question. I am not saying, Tehseen Poonawalla, you must not question the situation in Manipur with the ruling disposition. Please do. Because they had promised a peaceful Northeast. That's not happened. Manipur has gone up in flames.
Can I ask you another question, Anand? I've understood your question. Can I ask you a question?
So let me...
Can I ask you a question? You're a very fair journalist. Please may I make a point?
Please ask.
The Prime Minister promised... No, please.
Please ask.
No, I'll ask you and the BJP spokesperson. But I want to ask you this as a journalist. The Prime Minister promised in 10 days after signing that Naga Accord, which all television channels covered, it would be made public. Today, as a journalist, today as a citizen, what is the accord signed? We don't know. You know why this accord has not been made public by the people of Nagaland? Because as the Naga Accords with whom this agreement is signed, the Prime Minister has promised them a separate parliament, a separate constitution. If not, make it public and say it's not there. Tell us what is the
when was the accord signed?
And the same mistake.
When was the accord signed, sir?
They've made in Manipur.
When was the accord signed?
2016. And the
how many rounds of elections have happened in Nagaland after that?
One, the BJP one. With the help of these rebels. And it's done in Manipur with the help of the rebels.
One round of election has happened in Nagaland after that.
One second. I'm talking about the recent election in Nagaland, the BJP.
That happened 7 years after. That happened 7 years after the accord was signed. If you say, as you are alleging that this is the content of that accord, And 7 years after that accord, where a separate parliament and all, as you are alleging, was signed, there is an
Separate
election
flag
that...
also for Nagaland.
No, there is a... So, but is there a separate
rebels
flag?
say
If that is here, has it manifest, sir? Who
Fair
has
point.
got the
One
mandate?
second.
Who has got the mandate?
Sir, I am on your show. Please allow me to speak. Because if you keep interrupting me, there's no point in me being there. Allow me to speak. I'll make my point. I've got your question. If your question is so long, my answer comes because you keep interrupting me. I'll give you my answer.
Tehseen, you're saying it is my show. Can I tell you
Yes,
from
sir.
8:01
Allow
to...
me to
No,
speak.
1 minute. Tehseen, from 8:01 to 8:15, it's only the two of you who have spoken. I have not spoken. I have just
Yeah, but
spoken
now
now.
you're- but you
Now
are-
I'll
but you
rest.
continue
You please
to
answer.
ask me.
You please answer. No,
I'm
no. You
answering.
please make your point and then let Shehzad respond.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you've allowed me to make
Go
my
ahead,
point.
please.
Please hear me out. The Nagaland Accord has particularly not been made public exactly because these things have to be hidden. If not, why should me as a citizen and you as a journalist not get the Nagaland Accord at my governmental site?
I am one...
This follows
Okay, complete, please.
this follows a pattern even in Manipur, where there was a boycott call. All of these rebels were hand in glove, and today what's happened in Manipur? I am asking you a simple question. Tell me another example since our independence where Article 355 has been imposed and Article 356 has not been imposed.
Okay. Now, Shehzad is answering it. Shehzad is answering your question.
One line.
Okay, one line. Please.
Just one line. Today, the Chief Minister of Manipur and his advisors are on television channels saying that the drug route and the drug money has come into Manipur. If this is true and those guns have come from across the border, hasn't demonetization failed? Hasn't the Prime Minister failed?
One minute. Sir, you are also relatively well read and beyond the political sphere. You understand where the golden triangle is and where the golden crescent is. And where the tail of that golden triangle, heart of
so why did this attack
One
not
minute,
happen
sir.
before
1 minute, sir. Heart of that golden triangle is. Okay, so when you make an argument or when you make an accusation, please have a certain level of brevity also when you make this consideration. Imagine for how long this racket has been happening. Okay, but you please, the allegation on you is...
No, I know the allegation.
Okay, before Shehzad responds, I want to tell our viewers, this is a classic shifting of the goalpost in the direction of the argument and the place where it suits you. That's what Tehseen Poonawalla has done, so credit him for that. Yes, Shehzad, respond.
Anand, I have witnessed this for 32, 33 years, so I'm not new to this kind of... the answer that he had to give was on the jobs in Rajasthan.
We'll come back to that.
On the jobs in Bihar.
We'll come back
on
to
the
that.
promises in Himachal. And the audience of Right Stand, they don't have weak memory. They can see through Tehseen's tactics. But because Tehseen likes to indulge and get exposed, here Tehseen is some data for you. Incidents between 2006 to 2014 about Northeast. 8,700 incidents. Death of Special Forces 304. Civilian deaths 1890. As of today, in the last 9 years, incidents 3,195, 63% reduction. Death of Special Forces 128 and civilian deaths 490. That's a reduction of 60 and 78%. So facts speak. The Bodo Accord, the Bruriang Accord, the Karbi Anglong Accord, the Assam-Meghalaya Interstate Boundary Agreement, they were not created in 2014. They were languishing from last 40, 50 years. None of them resolved. Now all of these have been resolved. Yes, the situation in Manipur became tense. The Home Minister, no less, is there. Congress did nothing except to make more differences there. But having said that, today it's not the issue of Northeast. We can have a separate discussion if you want on that. I am telling you my track record for 9 years of what my government has done. You, Tehseen Poonawalla, just one question I'm asking you. How many farmers' loans have you waived in Rajasthan? 10 lakh jobs promised by you in Bihar. How many jobs have you given in Bihar? Google करो थोड़ा सा. हिमाचल में 1500 रुपए कितनी महिलाओं को दिया? उन्होंने मांगा है राहुल गांधी से. 300 यूनिट बिजली फ्री देने का वादा था. आपने बिजली के दाम बढ़ा दिए. Highest VAT on petrol and diesel is in Rajasthan. 3 rupees of diesel has been increased in Himachal the moment you came. Tehseen Poonawalla, please tell me what was the average inflation rate during the UPA tenure between 2004 to 14? What is the average inflation now? Please tell me, Tehseen Poonawalla, that what was the foreign exchange reserves that when you left the government and you went, and what is the foreign exchange reserves now? Despite COVID and Ukraine crisis, how much FDI has been got by India, and how much FDI maximum was reached in 2014? Please answer these on facts. Tehseen, you are 5 years elder to me. I hope you are not as uncomfortable speaking on facts as I am.
No, you're the one who's actually running away from facts, because when I exposed you in Manipur, you said this is not the show for that, when you clearly claim Northeast was the most peaceful under this present government, and you are not talking about the people displaced in Manipur. So let's talk on the economy. The same report that you quote out of says the lowest unemployment is in Chhattisgarh. Why don't you credit the Congress government about it? The highest unemployment is in the state of Haryana. That's BJP. You selectively choose Rajasthan from in between and some other Congress ruled state. Yes, Congress ruled states have to still fulfill all the promises that have been made. Please release our GST money. Why haven't you released the GST money? Because you don't want to release the
promises
GST
were
money
contingent on GST money.
States. Of course, it's dependent on GST money. It is
Oh,
the state
really?
money.
Did you put that rider in the manifesto? And by the way, all GST dues have been cleared. Which year's GST dues of Rajasthan is remaining? Please give me official figure.
Please, and in the last...
Look, Kisan Karz Maafi, last 1.5 years, you have not got any money in Rajasthan from GST, from your share.
Have not been cleared. All dues have not been cleared. Secondly...
Tell me how much dues left? Rajasthan, how much dues left? Himachal, how much dues left? And what is the ticket promise of the Kisan Karz Maafi? Please, let's talk in figures.
Kisan Karz Maafi has already started, and all the 10 lakh, farmers will get the...
Your government's time is up.
By August. No, it's till December. By August, it will be done. The Chief Minister's come on record 3 times and said it by August. Out of the 10 lakh farmers promised, 3 lakhs have already got it, 2 lakhs is in process. By August, all 10 lakhs will happen. That is it. And one more thing.
10 lakh farmers in Rajasthan.
Sir, again you are interrupting.
In Rajasthan, 10 lakh farmers.
Sir, sir, if you keep interrupting me, I cannot talk.
Talk, sir.
Either you allow me to speak or you don't allow me to speak. Can I make my point?
How many houses you constructed in UPA's 10 years? Pakka houses?
Sir, are you the anchor or am I? You made
I am asking you a question. You asked me several questions on Manipur. I answered them.
Now,
Okay.
No, you didn't. You ran away. Please allow me to finish.
Okay. Now to Tehseen.
No, I'm not yet done.
One second. Tehseen and Shehzad,
I'm not done. I've been interrupted. I just have one point to make.
Sure.
Okay,
Shehzad
please.
claims the economy, just one point.
Yeah, please.
Shehzad claims the
Please.
economy is doing very well. I absolutely want to say, let's for a minute concede that. Now, by Shehzad's own statement on this show, he says, we are amongst the fastest growing economy in the world. We're going to end at about 6% this current financial year. Great. At 6%, the first quarter was 13%, the second quarter was 8%. That means our GDP growth has dropped down to 3%. And you're talking we're the fastest growing in the world? If 13% was the first quarter for this year and 8% second, and you're ending the year at 6%, what is your GDP growth for the last 2 quarters dropped down to 3%? Why don't you want to speak about that? You won't speak about it because it conveniently does not suit your narrative, just like you bring in Rajasthan unemployment, which is not the highest in the country. Haryana is, and you won't bring in Chhattisgarh.
My point is, we were supposed to talk 9 years of UPA, 9 years of Modi Sarkar versus 10 years of UPA. You brought the narrative down and the discourse down to Manipur when the questions were asked about UPA versus NDA. So,
yes,
this shifting of goalposts, everybody is past master in debating and trying to wear the argument to where it is convenient. Now, I have only 4 minutes on this debate, gentlemen. Largely, I'd like you to come back. We've talked about the Vikas aspect. The jury is out for the viewers to decide who's won the narrative, 10 years of UPA versus 9 years of Modi Sarkar on the Vikas narrative. The second aspect that Mr. Rahul Gandhi spoke about today, Shehzad, was on the Vishwas aspect. Where you made the comparison ki 80s Dalit, but he also said today all minorities are afraid, unsettled. Sikhs, Muslims, Christians, and then again Dalits and tribals, everybody is unsettled. Because this government is not actually walking the talk or walking the path of Sabka Saath and Sabka Vishwas.
PM Fasal Bima 70% beneficiary SC/ST OBC, PM Kisan 63%, PM Awas 60%, scholarships 60%, Mudra loans 50%, constitutional status given to OBC Commission first time now. PM is a OBC community person who has completed his tenure. Maximum number of OBC ministers in this particular cabinet. As far as the Muslims and the minorities are concerned, when 80 crore people are getting food, Mohit, Madhav and Matthew all are getting. When toilets are given to 11 crore people, Shilpa, Sultana, Sandra, all have got. But I want to ask them, who said first right of resources belongs to minorities? And they never even did that because the Sachar committee report shows that the position of Muslims in Gujarat is far better than position of Muslims in, say, states like Bengal. All the big riots, Hashimpura, Meerut, Maliana, Bhagalpur, Ahmedabad, Nelli, Jalgaon, all of these anti-Muslim riots took place during Congress tenure. Tell me one place where they have given the conviction or Saza. And the Sikh genocide took place during Congress watch. It was justified. Jagdish Titler is Tehseen Punawala's colleague in the Congress party.
Now, since quickly, Tehseen, I'll give you your 2 minutes to respond. The last 2 minutes are yours. I just want to make a quick mention that the Union Home Minister Amit Shah has not only held a security review meeting in Moreh, he's also visited the relief camp in Kangpokpi and met the Kuki community members today. He's also visited the Meitei relief camp in Imphal in Manipur. So we have all the footages also from Manipur where there is a collective effort across communities and across party lines politically and across entities to try and restore peace and also ensure that the roadblocks are removed. So that is the speed at which it's being done, and the Union Home Minister is personally on ground. Now, whether the situation resolves or not, we'll have to wait and watch. I think we've got the footages with us. We'll play out that footage and some of the reference visuals. But yes, Tehseen, on the Vishwas aspect. Now, is this not walking the talk on the Vishwas aspect? Because the Kuki is largely Christian, Meitei is largely Hindu. This is a Hindu versus Christian situation that's also been blown up, and some people are playing that up in Manipur, be it the tribal issues. At various levels, has there not been greater engagement? And absolutely, as Shehzad has claimed, that welfare has gone to everybody. There's been no discrimination.
No.
That's the BJP's point of view. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'll be very brief because I'll have less time. Derai Durustai, Honorable Union Home Minister. This issue in Manipur started in the first week of May when the Honorable Home Minister was busy campaigning in Karnataka and then having celebrations in Parliament for the new Parliament building, which I give to them, but that was where he was. He should have gone a long time ago. He's still not been able to answer another example in our country where 355 is imposed, not 356. If Union government has to run Manipur, why is the state government in power out there? 355 is always a preclude to 356. Give me another example. He's not been able to give. Now let's come to the other issue. He said they have given justice to everybody across all communities. Today, expose me on television. Expose me. Tell me, why can't you release the caste census? You don't want to release the caste census despite the promise made by Shri Rajnath Singh ji in Parliament, because you don't want to give justice to the backward caste. Tell me today on television how many Chief Justices in the Honorable Supreme Court have been from the backward caste. Please tell me today how many Chief Justices across courts
Chief
across
Justices
the country
are not made by government. They appoint in their collegiate.
No. 1 minute. I want to put a stop to this. I want to put a stop to this here itself, because the moment you are going to say that you are going to elect people on places where they're supposed to be absolutely neutral and do only from the eyes of law, and you are going to pick people based on their caste background and not on their merit, then Tehseen, your own logic and your own aspect that merit has to be supreme and not anything else stands defeated the moment you make that moment you make that argument. Gentlemen, I thank you very much. I've run out of time. I've run out of time. We are actually 26 minutes, 27 minutes on the show. Thank you so much. Always great to speak with you. Thank you, Shehzad. I'm joined by the Union Minister of State for Law and Justice, SP Singh Baghel ji. SP Singh Baghel ji, namaste. जय हिंद, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। मैं जल्दी से आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं, 9 साल मोदी सरकार के हो गए। सबसे पहले मेरा प्रश्न आपसे यही है कि इन 9 सालों में आपके हिसाब से, आपके अनुसार सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि क्या रही?
देखिए, सबसे मैं सरकार के विकास कार्य बताऊंगा तो मेरे को 3-4 घंटे चाहिए, क्योंकि हर हफ्ते होने वाली कैबिनेट में प्रधानमंत्री जी इस देश के लिए कुछ न कुछ कल्याणकारी योजना लाते हैं। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि ये भी है कि ये विकास युक्त और भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त 9 साल रहे। 9 साल लुटियन जोन की काजल की कोठरी में कोई प्रधानमंत्री रहे और एक भ्रष्टाचार का दाग ना लगे, ये साधारण बात नहीं है। ऐसा कोई नेता नहीं कर सकता। कोई अवगढ़ व्यक्ति, कोई फकीर टाइप का व्यक्ति, कोई साधु टाइप का व्यक्ति ही ऐसे काम को कर सकता है। एक शेर सुनाता हूँ कि ना मांझी ना रहबर ना हाथ में हवाएं है, कश्ती भी टूटी एक ऐसा सफ़र है, फकीरी का अपना अलग ही मजा है, न पाने की चिंता न खोने का डर है। तो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने विकास युक्त और भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त ये 9 साल दिए हैं। ये 9 साल बेमिसाल हैं
जी। तो लॉ एंड जस्टिस के साथ साथ वो कार्यभार आपने संभाला काफ़ी समय तक। अब चाइल्ड वेलफेयर, हेल्थ, इन पर आपका फोकस रहेगा। काफ़ी सारे चेंजेस हुए हैं। आपको क्या लगता है कितनी उपलब्धियां हुई हैं और कितना काम बचा है?
देखिए, काम तो हमेशा बाकी रहेगा, क्योंकि ये विकासशील देश है, ये विकसित राष्ट्र नहीं है। लेकिन हमारे लॉ एंड जस्टिस में भी आप देखो कि प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में गरीब लोगों को न्यायिक सुविधाएं देकर न्यायिक अंत्योदय करने का काम किया है। जैसे टेली लॉ, न्याय बंधु, प्रो बोनो स्कीम ला करके निःशुल्क हमने विधिक सहायता देने का काम किया है। प्रधानमंत्री ने 7,000 करोड़ रुपए देकर वर्चुअल कोर्ट, वर्चुअल हियरिंग, वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस, ई कोर्ट के लिए पैसा दे करके जो है पेंडेंसी को कम करने का काम किया है। और 1400 ऐसे कानून जो रानी के ज़माने के थे, जो हमारी गुलामी के प्रतीक थे, उनको समाप्त किया है। और अभी एक बड़ा काम होने जा रहा है कि इंडियन पीनल कोड और आईपीसी, सीआरपीसी और इंडियन एविडेंस जो 1800 कुछ की हैं, जो अंग्रेजों ने अपने माफिक बनाए थे, उसमें बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन प्रधानमंत्री जी और गृह मंत्री करने जा रहे हैं। जहाँ तक ये स्वास्थ्य एवं परिवार कल्याण विभाग की बात है, जो हमारा पेंडेमिक पीरियड था उसमें WHO ने मोदी जी के मॉडल की प्रशंसा करी। 66 साल में जितने मेडिकल कॉलेज बने उससे ज़्यादा 9 साल में बने। 66 साल में जितनी एम्स बनी है उसके से ज़्यादा 9 साल में मोदी जी के कार्यकाल में। 66 साल में जितने PGI बने उससे ज़्यादा 9 साल में बने। 66 साल में जितनी मेडिकल की सीटें थी 9 साल में उससे ज़्यादा बढ़ा दी गई हैं। 2 करोड़ 20 लाख लोगों को वैक्सीनेशन करना पूरे देश को, ये बड़ी काम थी। और वेंटिलेटर नहीं बनते थे तो वेंटिलेटर बनाया, मास्क बनाया, ऑक्सीजन के सिलेंडर बनाए, ऑक्सीजन के प्लांट बनाए। तो प्रिकॉशन इज ऑलवेज बेटर देन क्योर। तो भगवान करे कोई देवी आपदा ना आए, अगर आती है तो मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में देश अब स्वास्थ्य के मामले में आत्मनिर्भर हो।
देखिए ये आंकड़े, आप मैं जब भी सरकार में मंत्रियों से बात करता हूं, SP सिंह बाघेल जी, सबके पास आंकड़े फिंगर टिप्स पे होते हैं, लेकिन ये आंकड़े क्या जमीन पर दिख रहे हैं? क्योंकि विपक्ष का ये आरोप है कि ये सब बहुत सुंदर पैकेजिंग है, ग्राउंड पर कुछ हुआ नहीं है, उपलब्धियां नहीं है, डिलीवरी नहीं।
मैं इस मामले में कहूँगा, जो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 10 लाख रोजगार का वादा किया था, हर महीने की 22 तारीख को हम सारे के सारे 70-75 मंत्री 70-75 जगह जाते हैं और वहाँ पर अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर उनको देते हैं। तो ये तो सबको दिखाई पड़ रहा है। दूसरी बात है कि स्टार्टअप में बहुत लोगों को रोजगार मिला है, स्वरोजगार बहुत लोगों को मिला है। और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि केंद्र सरकार और भाजपा शासित राज्य सरकारों में जो नौकरी लग रही हैं वो पूरी पारदर्शिता से लड़ रही हैं, क्योंकि ग्रुप ए में केवल इंटरव्यू होंगे, ग्रुप बी के नॉन गेस्टेड के नहीं होंगे, और बी और सी में तो इंटरव्यू नहीं होंगे। अब आप पूछोगे कि इंटरव्यू खत्म करने को मैं देश की बड़ी उपलब्धि मानता हूं, क्योंकि इंटरव्यू लेने के लिए नहीं हुआ करते थे पूर्ववर्ती सरकारों में, इंटरव्यू निकालने के लिए होते थे। लेना है तो आगरा की स्पेलिंग बताओ और नहीं लेना है तो चेकोस्लोवाकिया की बताओ। तो हम लोग हाई स्कूल इंटर की मार्कशीट को मोम में बढ़वा के रखते थे, रोजगार कार्यालय जाते थे, निकले हुए फॉर्म भरते थे, लिखित परीक्षा पास करते थे। पिताजी पर रुपए नहीं होते थे रिश्वत के, और बरादरी पर बड़ा नेता नहीं होता था जो मुख्यमंत्री द्वारा भेजे जाने वाली सूची में नाम अंकित करा दे, इसलिए बेरोजगार हो गए। अब जो बच्चा आ रहा होगा उसको कोई रोक नहीं पाएगा, जो नहीं आ रहा होगा उसको कोई ले नहीं पाएगा। इंटरव्यू समाप्त करना आज़ादी के बाद के बड़े कामों में से एक काम है।
लेकिन लॉ एंड जस्टिस की अगर बात करें, जो इससे पहले आपकी मिनिस्ट्री थी, आप MOS थे वहां पर, तो जुडिशरी और एग्जीक्यूटिव के बीच तनातनी की बात हुई है, इसको लेकर काफी आलोचना हुई है, टिप्पणियां हुई हैं। कहा जाता है कि सिस्टम्स का डिग्रेडेशन हुआ है पिछले 9 साल में। ये आरोप राहुल गांधी बार बार लगाते हैं, आप क्या कहेंगे?
नहीं, मैं इसको स्वीकार इसलिए नहीं कर रहा हूँ। हमारे संविधान निर्माताओं ने कार्यपालिका, विधायिका और न्यायपालिका के अधिकार और कर्तव्य और लक्ष्मण रेखाएं बहुत स्पष्ट की हैं। किसी को किसी की लक्ष्मण रेखा में प्रवेश नहीं करना चाहिए। और ये हमारा ही देश है कि एक वोट से कोई चुनाव हारता है तो स्वीकार करता है, लोअर कोर्ट के डिसीजन को मानता है, उसके अगेंस्ट सेशन जाता है, सेशन से ऊपर हाई कोर्ट जाता है, हाई कोर्ट से ऊपर सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाता है। जुडिशरी एक इंडिपेंडेंट संस्था है, सब लोग उसका सम्मान करते हैं और देश के लोगों की विश्वसनीयता भारत
तो आप इस क्रिटिसिज्म को, मंत्री जी, आप इस क्रिटिसिज्म को नकारते हैं कि मोदी जी के अंडर इंस्टीट्यूशंस को वीकन कर दिया गया है, कमजोर कर दिया गया है?
बल्कि मोदी जी की सरकार में CBI, कांग्रेस ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन नहीं है। मोदी जी की सरकार में जितनी भी संवैधानिक संस्थाएं हैं वो स्वतंत्र और निष्पक्ष हैं, फ्री और फेयर हैं और अपने हिसाब से काम कर रही हैं, उसमें सरकार की कोई दखलंदाजी नहीं रहती है।
मैं जानता हूं आपके पास समय अल्प है, अंतिम प्रश्न आपसे पूछूंगा, कोई एक कार्य जो आप करना चाहेंगे अपने नेतृत्व में सरकार के अंदर, कोई एक टारगेट जो आपने अपने लिए सेट किया हो?
नहीं, अब उस विभाग में हम लोग काम कर रहे थे कि कई ऐसे कानून बना रहे थे जो देश काल परिस्थितियों के अनुसार बनने चाहिए, तो उधर काम कर रहे थे। अब स्वास्थ्य में यह है कि इंसान का जीवन पाना सबसे बड़ी बात है। बड़े भाग मानव तन पाया और उसको उसके जान की चिंता करना, उसको स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं देना, उसके जीवन को बचाना हमारा प्रमुख लक्ष्य है। इसलिए 24 घंटे मोबाइल खोल के रखते हैं कभी किसी को हमारी सहायता की आवश्यकता पड़े तो करने के लिए तैयार हैं। लेकिन केंद्र सरकार की लोक कल्याणकारी योजनाएं, मोदी जी का व्यक्तित्व और कृतित्व, राज्य सरकारों की हमारे की रोजगार योजनाएं, उत्तर प्रदेश में बाबा का लॉ एंड ऑर्डर और बूथ अध्यक्ष से राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष की परिश्रम की पराकाष्ठा से जो पसीना बह रहा है, उससे निश्चित तौर से कमल खिलेगा और 2024 में पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम लोग बनाएंगे।
जी, एसपी सिंह बाघेल जी, हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू फॉर टेकिंग द राइट स्टैंड। नमस्ते। Thank you, sir. He was on a flight. He's had to catch a flight, and that's when he spoke with us. Quickly shifting focus, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get a move on, get you up to speed on what happened in the Sakshi murder case. Now, Delhi's gruesome murder shocked India when a Shraddha Walker